Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Wednesday, March 31st, also known as the last day of March. We're going to be talking some NBA DFS picks today on both DraftKings and FanDuel. But before we get started, I'm going to take a quick look back at yesterday's picks and see how they turned out. So yesterday was a smaller game slate. These are ones that I try to typically play lighter. They're a little bit harder to nail down. So we're going to start off with the DraftKings side. First off, Russell Westbrook, $10,900. Looking for 55 points out of him. Got to 69.75, so he was definitely a hit. Then I went with Devontae Graham. This is the updated core that I did release later on in the day. $6,100. Looking for about 31 points out of him. Got to 39.75, so he was definitely a hit. Then a small forward went with Cody Martin. He is actually $3,600. That is a mistake there. You were looking for about 18 points out of him. He got to 11, so that was a miss. He's a guy that I did like a lot after Malik Monk was ruled out. Just didn't play very well. Denny Advia, kind of the same way. We're looking for about 19 points out of him. Got to 15. He was a miss as well. Obviously, he got that playing time. He just didn't do a lot with it. Then Nikola Jokic, probably the biggest letdown yesterday. I thought going into the day, be nice to stack Westbrook and Jokic together and then kind of go from there, especially on that smaller game slate. Jokic didn't quite produce as much as we were used to with him. Looking for 52 points out of him, got to 39.5, so he was a miss. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Russell Westbrook over there as well, $11,000, looking for 55 points out of him. Got to 63.5 on the FanDuel side, so he was a hit. Devontae Graham, $5,300, looking for 27 points out of him. Got to 41 on the FanDuel side, so he was a hit there. Then I had Gordon Hayward at small forward, $7,000, looking for 35 points out of him. Got to 47.2, so he was a hit. And then we had Marcus Morris at power forward. He ended up being a late scratch, but it was before the game time. So if you guys checked out my comments, I said if you don't have money, pay down to Dario Saric. If you have extra money, pay up to Chuma Okeke. Both those guys were hits yesterday. I listed Dario Saric since he is probably the most realistic one here that you could go to because I don't expect a lot of people had that extra little bit of money, to pay up for Chuma Okeke. So I considered Dario Saric the main pivot. $3,800 looking for 19 points out of him. Got to 28, so he was a hit. And then we get down to Nikola Jokic once again, $11,300. Looking for 57 points out of him. Got to 34.5, so he was a miss once again. But overall, kind of a hit or miss day in terms of the core picks. But you'll have that sometimes with those smaller game slates. So with that being said, we'll get into today's games. It is a 10-game slate, and we're going to be talking some of the injuries for today. So the Trailblazers are exactly the same as last time out. Collins and Little still out. Detroit Pistons pretty much the same as the last time out. Wayne Ellington is also doubtful to play. Sekou Doumbouya is a game time decision. We'll see what their starting lineup looks like by the time we get to it. There is 2 7 o'clock games tonight, so that's kind of nice to see. Sometimes when there's just that one 7 o'clock game, sometimes I'll just punt that and then wait for the later news. But definitely a little bit more interesting today. Then for the Miami Heat, looks like Udonis Haslem is going to be back, but he's essentially a coach at this point anyways. I don't know when they're going to get rid of the game time decision on Gabe Vincent because he's been probable for about every game for the last 20 games. Kendrick Nunn, I do not expect to play, although he is a game time decision. Okpala and Oladipo are both out once again. Then for the Pacers, we're looking at Jeremy Lamb and Doug McDermott, both game time decisions. I don't think either one of them ends up playing in this game. We'll just have to see, though. But if they don't end up playing, definitely helps out different guys like Justin Holiday, maybe a little bit of Sumner as well, or somebody else like an Aaron Holiday off the bench. Then we move over to the Dallas Mavericks, exactly the same as they've been for a while now, so no major changes there at all. Then on the opposite side of that game, we had the Boston Celtics. Ojale, Thompson are both still out. Langford and Jaylen Brown are both game time decisions. Obviously, the biggest one we're looking for is that Jaylen Brown news. The Rockets, they have the same guys out that have been out for a while. Daniel House, Christian Wood, and John Wall are all game time decisions. We'll see who ends up playing out of that group of 3 there. If John Wall doesn't play and Christian Wood plays, Christian Wood looks pretty nice. Kevin Porter looks pretty nice. If both Christian Wood and John Wall don't play, then Kevin Porter, Kelly Olynyk, they're looking really, really nice. Then on the Nets side, pretty much the same as they've been for a while now. Landry Shamet is a game time decision tonight. We'll see if he ends up playing or not. Then we move over to the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson's still out. Derrick Rose is a game time decision. We'll see if he ends up playing or not. Then for the Timberwolves, Russell's out. Okogie is a game time decision. No major changes there. Toronto's exactly the same as the last time out. Oklahoma City Thunder, pretty much the same as the last time out as well. Utah Jazz, the biggest one who we got here is Donovan Mitchell being out. The other two guys have been out for a while now. So obviously with Donovan Mitchell being out, you're looking at Mike Conley getting a boost, Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson, they all get a boost. The Grizzlies are exactly the same as last time out, except Grayson Allen is a game-time decision. We'll see if he ends up playing or not. If he doesn't play, Desmond Bane likely in that starting lineup once again. Then the Kings have Bagley out once again. Whiteside is a game-time decision. We'll see if he ends up playing or not. Then for the Spurs, Trey Lyles is out. That's the new one. Bates Diop is out again. Lonnie Walker, game-time decision. Looks like he might play today, though. Bucks have the same three guys out as the last time. Jeff Teague, who just recently joined the team, as a game-time decision. We'll see if he ends up playing or not. Then for the Lakers, same three guys out that have been out for a while now. The Bulls have Garrett Temple, doubtful to play now. And then game-time decisions on Kobe White and Zach LaVine. I think LaVine ends up playing. White may end up missing once again. Then for the Suns, Kaminsky and Nader are both game-time decisions. We'll just have to see if they play or not. They both missed last time out. But that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries for today's games. And with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off with the point guard position. I got Mike Conley, $5,800, looking for 29 points out of him, averaging 32 on the season. It's a decent matchup for him here. Obviously, the biggest news is no Donovan Mitchell. Going to see some extra minutes, see some extra usage. That should definitely make him a very enticing option today. Then shooting guard, went to him the last time out and achieved Mikhailuk. And $4,200, playing pretty good minutes. If his shot's going down, he's going to be able to get you that 21 points that you definitely need out of him. Then small forward, he was on my list the last time they played. Kind of pivoted off to him when Kelly Olynyk opened up. But Jaden McDaniels, $4,300. He's played big minutes the last 4 or 5 times out now. So it seems like he's a big part of that rotation now. They're giving him that run. So, you're looking for 21, 22 points out of him. Definitely a possibility today. And then the only kind of pay-up option that we have in this core is Kristaps Porzingis. Been playing really well lately. $7,900, looking for 39, 40 points. That's about in line with what he's averaging on the season. Goes against Robert Williams. If he can get him out of the paint, move him around a little bit, it's a matchup that he should definitely be able to take advantage of. If we see Robert Williams get in foul trouble like last time, could be a good day for Kristaps Porzingis going against guys like Mo Wagner and Luke Cornett. They're not going to be a problem for him. That's definitely for sure. And then we're going to move down to Nerlens Noel. $4,900 seems like a pretty good price here. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson's out once again. Looking for about 24, 25 points out of him. Definitely doable as long as he's getting the minutes tonight. But if you go with these 5 guys over on DraftKings, you have $22,900 left over. Just over $7,600 per player. So definitely room to pay up for a guy or two and then kind of fill in with some value or a middle range player as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side at point guard, we went with Malcolm Brogdon, $6,600. Looking for about 33 points out of him, averaging 37 on the season. He did have that rough stretch there for a while. Seems like he's playing a little bit better once again. It's definitely a pretty good price down spot here. I think it's one that you can definitely take advantage of. Maybe it's one that changes throughout the day if more value opens up, but definitely a strong player early on in the day. Then we move over to Joe Ingles. Obviously, I said Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing. $5,500, looking for 27, 28 points out of him. Definitely doable out of him tonight, getting more minutes, getting more usage. Definitely going to help him out. Then I kind of mentioned him earlier with the injuries, and it's Justin Holiday, $3,800, looking for 19 points out of him, averaging 22 on this season. Minutes are pretty much solidified at this point in time, especially if Jeremy Lamb and Doug McDermott are both out. He's not losing minutes to either of those guys. Then typically I don't like to double dip, but this was my best power forward play on the FanDuel side, and that's Jaden McDaniels. Kind of talked about him already on that DraftKings side. So he's $4,600, looking for 23 points out of him. The minutes are there. Not too much else you have to say. It's just a minutes play. He's a guy that could maybe change throughout the day once again if there's a better value that opens up. And then last but not least, we have Robert Williams, $6,300. Like his price a lot better on FanDuel than on DraftKings. Looking for about 31, 32 points out of him. He's been playing well, been playing the minutes. The only question is if he gets into foul trouble again like the last game out. Like I said, I do like Kristaps Porzingis in this game. If he's able to stretch Robert Williams out a little bit, it could hurt Robert Williams. But I think it's definitely a spot where he's productive enough and can succeed in this game. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 guys over on FanDuel, you have $33,200 left over, $8,300 per player. So definitely some room to spend up for some guys, and there's definitely some guys to spend up for on this slate. James Harden, Giannis, Luka Doncic, whoever you want, pretty much. This is a core that's going to allow you to get to some of those guys, as well as some other value picks that open out throughout the day. But with that being said, these are my picks for today, March 31st, on both DraftKings and FanDuel. As always, I'll be listing all the news and starting lineups down in the comments below. Definitely be sure you're checking that out throughout the day, as I do update that. And then also, if you guys have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. Definitely here to help you guys out the best that I can. And with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Definitely helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's truly one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you guys with your fantasy football teams, covering all the different football news this offseason. I dropped some of my draft rankings on Twitter the other day. I'll be making some videos going over them, some of my sleeper picks as well in the coming days. We're going to be covering some fantasy baseball and some baseball news as well throughout the baseball season. So definitely want to be sure to check all that stuff out. And with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber, definitely be sure to hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on any of that stuff that I just listed. But with that being said, that's all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you all do very well in NBA DFS tonight. And as always, if you guys have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. Definitely here to help you out as much as I can. And last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching this video. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me. And I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.